The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
as a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
A good Tuesday morning to you, one and all. Welcome aboard. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from the bunkerized studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire on this rather cool Tuesday morning. It's cloudy. They're expecting it to rain. It's only, well, at least it's getting up. It's above freezing. It's about it's almost 40 degrees already in the morning. I guess they're expecting like 45 today, but rain all day. Rain in December. That's actually pretty normal for around here. Now, some people ask, I got a question yesterday. Why do you, every time I listen, which is not every day. Well, first of all, that's your first mistake. You should listen every day. They said that I'm guessing it's a female, the way it's written. You can kind of tell sometimes. Well, today you shouldn't make that mistake and assume that it could be a millennial male. They often sound like females. But anyway. So I got a question yesterday at the Rod Eccles Show at gmail.com. The Rod Eccles Show at gmail.com. I get a question. It probably came through the website connection. Connect with me. RodEccles.net. And they ask, every time that I've listened, you always talk about the weather. Why? It's a waste of time. And I said, well, this is why you need to pay attention to the show for more than just a couple of weeks. You got to give it 6 months. I mentioned the weather oftentimes because it just goes to show and to prove on a daily basis, I'm recording it here, for posterity, about how bad and how wrong the man-made global climate change people are. And the so-called climate change deniers, of which I'm obviously one, are the ones who are actually correct on this whole weather system and climate change crap thing. So that's why I mention it every day. And today is no different. You got a bunch of people running around all of a sudden, because of the temperature in December 5th. Here it is, December number 5 in the year of our Lord 2017. On December 5th, we're going to have rain and 45 degrees, and some people are saying, see, global warming. It's pretty damn normal for that to happen in December around these parts. It's also pretty normal for us to have a blizzard today. Either way works. It could be, it could be warm. It could be up to 50 degrees is pretty normal. It's not the reason why I say normal, because I've been around I've seen a few Christmases here in New England. And it has been 50 degrees on beginning of December, and it has been, 20 degrees. We've had rain and or sunshine on the 5th of December, and we've had blizzards. It just goes up and down. It's different every year. That's what weather and climate is. Yeah, I've often said this. And now I'm hearing other people out there repeat what I have said. The problem with today's man-made global climate change theorists and man-made global warming theorists, and even a few deadpan holdovers of man-made global cooling theorists, is that they only have a very short window of history of the planet to talk about climate and weather. Now, we know historically speaking, because this planet is anywhere, depending on who you talk to, the planet is if you believe the strict constructionist, creationist constructionist, the planet is somewhere between 7 and 10,000 years old. If you believe creation scientists who use science and real dating, well, then the Earth could be, a couple million years old. If you believe the godless scientists who go by the, complete ungodly Big Bang theory, then the Earth is at least 1 to 10 billion years old. So I know that's a huge time frame and timeline. However, even if you go with just 10,000 years old, that's a long period of time for there to be weather and climate. Man hasn't been here all that time, evidently. So what do we know about all of the weather and the climate before man appeared? Well, we do know, looking at the record, if we're interpreting the record in the ground and in the ice properly and correctly, that the weather or the climate has been both warmer and colder than it is today. We also know that the climate has been both warmer and colder in man's history on this planet than it is today. So what is the perfect climate? What is a climate that you've got to put your baseline at? Is it the climate today? How about the climate of the 1900s? How about the climate pre-industrial revolution, let's say 1850 or 1800? We don't know what the perfect climate is. So therefore, if we don't know the perfect climate, then we cannot say honestly and truthfully and scientifically, because there is no real scientific data about this, we cannot say that we are affecting this. Now think about this. This planet has been around for 10,000 years at least. 10,000 years. That means that the lifespan of humankind, of humans, over the past 200 years of industrial revolution is nothing but a speck on that timeline. And you're telling me in about 150 years or less, mankind is so devastating the climate and changing the climate on this planet? Well, unless we just set off a whole bunch of nuclear bombs, it's not possible. There haven't been that many humans. Remember, we're only hitting, we only hit the 5 billion human, what was it, 1970s when we hit 5 billion? What are we at, 7.5 billion now? It's taken us a very long period of time to get up to 5 billion people on the planet. Now, I remember them saying that, hey, the planet can only hold 3 billion and we can't get much more than 5 billion. We're going to all die at 6 billion. Now we're at 7.5, and we don't seem to be slowing down any. So what is the perfect climate? And this whole notion, I was reading something yesterday going through all this. And I guess they take temperature of ice down in Antarctica. And the temperature of the ice has risen slightly. in Antarctica. Yeah, now the ice in Antarctica, instead of being at minus 25 degrees below, 25 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, it's now listed as 21 degrees below 0 at Fahrenheit. Oh, yeah, the ice warmed up a little bit. Ooh! I don't know, minus 25 or minus 21, it's still not melting. This is ridiculous. And this is not the first time that the ice, since they've been keeping records of temperatures of the ice, this is not the first time that it's quote unquote warmed up a little bit. So this whole notion that we've got a bunch of people telling us that we should run around and be scared because all hell's going to break loose, Armageddon is upon us, and it's our own fault because Mother Nature is going to snap back at us because the weather is terrible. We're creating all this climate pattern that isn't perfect anymore. What is the perfect climate? Hell, you can't even say that we have a perfect climate on this planet because in different places on the planet, the climate's different. Is it not? I mean, you can't even go from if you're on the same longitude, going across the globe. Let's just take the equator. The equator in one part of the globe is the weather there is different from, or the climate's different from someplace else along the equator. It's not the same. So what is the perfect climate? We don't know. So since we don't know, we cannot determine with absolute certainty that we are the cause of the climate change. Because climate is constantly changing. It always has been, even before mankind roamed the earth. It was always changing. And by the way, if they're working on in Australia, still trying to develop a cow that farts less and emits less, fart gas, methane, then what about all the animals, especially dinosaurs, that roamed the planet before mankind did? Weren't they farting too? Didn't they release methane gas? No, sure, they weren't burning oil and coal, but yeah, hey, they were doing other things. They were eating and farting and shitting, right? Yes. How come they didn't affect the climate? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But this all goes in line with Trump reducing the size of two monuments yesterday. National monuments. One he reduced by 85, 90% the size of it. And he got some environmentalist wackos who are all upset. And now this is not only now understand, President Trump returned some of the responsibility and care of the land back over to some Native Americans. They don't want the responsibility because they plan on suing the president over this. So he's giving them back their land. And now they want to sue him for it. Because now they're going to be responsible. Can you believe this? So we've got, these Utah monuments, they were Obama's last year in office. He unilaterally just increased monuments all over the country by ridiculous size amounts. It made no sense. So Trump just cut back on what Obama did. Now, I talked about this yesterday about how we've really got to be careful and maybe make some changes to this whole process of how some of this stuff is done, because one president comes in and they especially with regulations. And the Utah monuments is really part of the regulatory system. It really is. So you got one president who doesn't like regulation, like Trump. So they cut way back on regulation. They return to the American people and the states some of their power that was stolen by the federal government. And then you get another president, another administration comes around and says, like Obama, says, well, I love regulation. And then creates new regulation up the wazoo. Well, we keep having this yo-yo effect. It's terrible. It's hard for a business to really do business. So sure, for the next 4 years, maybe next 8 years, we might have go gangbusters. Because regulation is going to be down and power to the people in the states is going to be returned. And then the American people are going to be stupid, like we tend to be sometimes. And we're going to elect some ultra-liberal leftist president like Obama. And they're going to turn around and talk about, well, this last period, we need all this regulation. We need this kind of regulation, that kind of regulation. We need to increase, national parks and national monuments and this and that and take land away and take power from the states and the people. And then we go through 4 or 8 years of complete hell. It's this yo-yo effect. I know that's a part of democracy, but, the reality is this is not what the founders had in mind. What we really need to do is have a Congress that wants to do its job and take back its constitutional powers and not turn it over to some bureaucratic, unelectable, unaccountable bureaucratic nightmare body. From climate change to stealing people's land in this whole monument thing and national park system, really the federal government isn't supposed to be owning a whole hell of a lot of land. Do you realize that? Constitutionally, they're not. I talked about this yesterday too. The federal government is only supposed to hold land that is necessary for the operation of the federal government and for defense. National monuments and national parks are not necessarily in the interest of federal government operation, meaning office buildings, or national defense, meaning military bases. Now, some places like Area 51 do need to be necessary for military defense, although we don't really know what the hell goes on in Area 51 other than experimentation and for technology, and no, not spacecraft, alien spacecraft. I'm still, people have tried to convince me, Rod, there's aliens among us. I'm not there yet. No, sorry.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement. But now, there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, booklet to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
Sometimes I wish I was a rapper because I could. That just seems like you need to start rapping on that particular song. But speaking of rapping, Christmas rapping. Anybody rapping for Christmas yet? Did you wrap all your Christmas gifts? Well, let me help put you in the mood with this latest Christmas song from the late greats, and it's called "Sleigh Ride." You like to sleigh ride? No, not that sleigh ride. But it's an alternative sleigh ride. You'll see. Check it out.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you through. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Our cheeks are nice and rosy and comfy and cozy are we. We're snuggled up together like two birds of a feather would be. Let's take the road before us and sing a chorus or two. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
There you go, the late greats with their version of Sleigh Ride. Yeah. Now, sleigh ride doesn't mean killing, by the way. I know sleigh is in there. Well, I'm surprised. Isn't there a horror movie, Christmas horror, bad horror, B, D, F movie that's entitled a Sleigh Ride, and it's supposed to be horror? I don't know. I mean, there's a few of those stupid. Well, what was last year? There was Santa Claus versus Krampus or something, or the Crump. I don't remember. It's just stupid stuff like that. But in any case, they're trying to, bring horror to happiness. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Time of year when a lot of people travel a lot, and they oftentimes they don't stay with relatives for a number of different reasons, and not going to subject people to scrutiny for why they're not staying with relatives, but they might be staying in rented spaces like hotels, or they might be staying in some places that, and it's not just Airbnb, but let's just call Airbnb is a brand name. But it's like Kleenex, which is actually face tissue, has come to be known. Now there are a number of competitors, and Airbnb is not even the biggest one as far as annual revenue is concerned. Out there, there's another one that's bigger. But Airbnb is the most famous, so the brand Airbnb has become synonymous with the actual industry. And so you have these Airbnbs out there, and a lot of people are renting them. And there's a number of reasons why people, in some cities, Airbnb is actually more economical. It's cheaper. You get them in places that you do not have hotels or motels. They're usually very nice, very clean. They're very well appointed, and you get a whole house or apartment in many cases versus. And they're in places where you might have an Airbnb type of home on a lake. Well, there's no hotel or motel on a lake that you want to be at, so you rent the house. You might be downtown. You go to a major city, like when last year I went to Paris. We got an Airbnb, and it was right smack in the middle of where we really wanted to be. There was no hotel around there. Not to mention hotels in Paris are kind of expensive. So it was, there's an advantage, and yes, there's an advantage to them, of course. Pricing is very competitive and sometimes cheaper than hotels in the area. Sometimes you get a lot of amenities. You have to really upgrade to a suite or something if you want some of the amenities that Airbnb. Because you have a full kitchen, so you don't have to go out and eat all the time. You can just purchase groceries, and a lot of times, you get a discount for staying multiple nights. Like if you stay a week, you get a discount versus hotels may not give you a discount. So there's advantages to things like this Airbnb, and frankly, it has put a dent in the hotel industry. They've noticed the numbers. They've noticed, even though the hotel industry is still growing, the hotel industry has noticed the dip in their growth. And in some states, in some cities, they've put they've tried to do major crackdowns. I think San Francisco is really competitive with the Airbnb, and they're making it nearly impossible for people to have an Airbnb within the city limits of San Francisco. But now there's a new problem. It's not governmental. It's not that people don't want to use Airbnbs. It's not that people don't want to or don't want to pay for an Airbnb. You have Airbnb hosts that are sickos, and this goes onto the list of the sexual harassment stuff. Got some new news on that as well. Every day there's new stuff on that. Can't get away. Wait till you hear about the Dustin Hoffman dust up. By the way, the man's 80 years old. You can't get him too upset. He might have a heart attack. Just saying. New York Post is reporting that people keep finding hidden cameras in their Airbnb rental homes. Now, I don't know if this was a problem in hotels. I'm sure you're going to have people. I've often wondered what all those flashing little, green little flashing lights in the rooms are. There's a smoke detector, but there's at least 3 of these things in the ceiling. So you could say one's a smoke detector and one's a carbon monoxide detector. Now, in today's modern technology, you can actually get some that's just as effective and just as accurate in one unit. It could be a smoke, fire, and carbon monoxide detector in one unit. So why are there like 3 different units in a hotel room? Now, I've often wondered that. And a couple of them are in obviously conspicuous spots in the room. So you got to wonder, if I actually went up to one of these devices and took it apart, am I going to find a camera? Well, people are finding hidden cameras. Cameras today, these little hidden you can put these little hidden cameras in just about anywhere. The problem is that people aren't very good at hiding them. They're not. If you're paying attention, it's pretty easy to spot some of these like these hidden nanny cam things. Well, they're becoming less effective because so-called nannies are being able to, hey, that bear is sitting on the shelf. Why is a bear sitting on the shelf? The kid can't reach that bear way up there. And they go and try to bring down the bear for the kid to play with and find that there's a camera in there. So that's one thing. But we're getting people who are finding cameras in their Airbnbs, not in the bathroom, because that's an obvious, unless you've got it. Unless you've got a hidden camera behind a mirror, which people have been caught with that too. I mean, it just really strange stuff. But Airbnb, these Airbnb companies have had to now contend with a bunch of sickos because you don't know who's going to be a sicko and who's not. You just don't know. Believe it, there are people out there, weirdos up the wazoo. There are people who just like to spy on people sleeping. They're not into, anything, well, I don't know if you want to call that sexual or not, but they just like to watch people. Now, I don't know about you, but unless I'm in a sleep lab, which I've never done, I don't want people secretly recording or watching me sleep. That's kind of creepy. But there are people out there that just like to watch people sleep. I don't know what that's called, but that's kind of weird. And, of course, there are people that really want to, they want porno, so they catch people, doing the dirty. And then, God forbid if they're doing something else besides, the dirty with somebody, maybe, I don't know. But that's just it. So now you got to make people. This is probably what you should do. I hate to say this, but every time you rent a hotel or a motel, or especially a motel and these independent places, more so than the chains, or an Airbnb, you got to go around in the places that really matter and try to scan for electronic recording devices. That may sound funny, but evidently this is becoming a real problem. Just be careful when you're out there. It doesn't matter if you are going to an Airbnb or to an Airbnb type of establishment or room or home, or if you're going to a hotel or a motel, be it branded or unbranded. Evidently, according to the New York Post and a few other stories that I did some research, that the problem is with an Airbnb, once they get wind of it, the person, the owner of the property, gets suspended, usually banned for life from Airbnb, and others are following suit. And because now you've got people who are doing Airbnb that are becoming mini moguls. In other words, they have multiple properties. I know of a person. If you go to YouTube or you Google or DuckDuckGo Airbnb, what you'll find is there are people out there that own, in excess of 20 properties or in excess of 20 units, and they're all Airbnb. So they're kind of running a hotel in multiple locations they're kind of a boutique hotel without actually being a hotel. And because there's a lot more regulation that comes into play if you're actually going to be a hotel or a motel. Airbnb is a lot less regulation, which is one of the things that hotels are screaming about. I get it, but, it is what it is. But along with that means that there's less inspection that goes along with Airbnb style versus hotel motels. But you get what you pay for, I guess, and sometimes you get more than you paid for, or more than you bargained for. So you may have to start sweeping your rooms for bugs and cameras. Isn't that what we used to have to do back during the Cold War? Government officials would go into a room. But before the actual security forces would go into the room or rooms that a senior government official was going to occupy and do a sweep for bugs and cameras and stuff like that. Yeah, we used to do that. And I think we still do. That's what the Secret Service does when the president or vice president goes someplace to stay. They sweep the room in the area, the immediate area for these types of devices. So you're going to have to do, and evidently you can buy this kind of equipment. You can get it on Amazon, or you can get it on other places online. You can get it on eBay and stuff, and it's not all that expensive. So if you want to spend, a couple $100 to secure your privacy, you might want to spend the extra cash before and use it no matter where you stay, whether it be an Airbnb type of a place or whether it be a traditional hotel or motel. It's becoming more and more necessary as we're able to miniaturize recording devices. I mean, it's getting to the point now where you think you're seeing the truth is you could be seeing a bug. You think you see a fly or a ladybug or even a grasshopper or something, and it's really a mechanical device, a little mini drone with a camera in it. You never know. That kind of stuff is turning up. They're working on stuff like that to even make it smaller. So you're not even going to be, pretty soon, you're not even going to notice it. No matter, because it could be anywhere. It could be woven within the design of some fabric. You'll never pick it up unless you scan for it. So just saying. I don't mean to scare people, but this is the reality of things out there. So people are finding hidden camera devices all over the place in their Airbnb rentals. Now I wonder if if we're gonna find them in motels and hotels, and they're just not reporting them yet. Moving on. There is speculation. I mean, since Matt Lauer has been fired, there's been speculation that people that the network, is it Good Morning America network, has been trying to woo Oprah Winfrey, the Oprah, to take his place. Now, no doubt, if the Oprah was over there on Good Morning America, they'd get a ratings boost because the Oprah still commands a lot of respect among female viewers. So she does. And now the whole speculation that the Oprah may be open to doing something with that. She's already doing a segment, right? From what I understand, it's a weekly segment? It's not daily. She's not there daily. It's like weekly or monthly or something over there. So they want her just to do, they'll even take if she just does it once a week or twice a week or something like that, I guess. I don't know. But so they really want the Oprah to come on over. And now the speculation is being raised again because Discovery Channel's The company that owns the Discovery Channel and a bunch of other cable networks, is reported by the LA Times that they buy a majority stake in the Oprah's own network, OWN, from the Oprah. Discovery Communications is paying about $70 million to take a majority interest in OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network. Until now, OWN had been a 50-50 joint venture between the television star and the cable programming giant. The deal announced Monday increases Discovery's ownership stake in the basic cable channel by an additional nearly 25% to nearly 75% ownership. The transaction marks the first time that Winfrey has taken money out of the venture. The channel launched in 2011, so she's going to get $70 million. So I guess they're saying that her half was worth $140 million, or a little over $140 million. So now with Discovery taking ownership of nearly 75, it's only a matter of time before Oprah cashes out completely. So $150 million for her half is what it was worth, I guess. So they're saying that the network's worth $300 million owned. Now, in the grand scheme of things for a television network, that's not a lot of money. But it's not nothing to sneeze at, obviously, to have a network worth $300 million. Basically is what they're saying, that by the purchase price of the nearly 25% stake, the full 25%, it's 24.5%. So you're looking at about $75 million for a full 25% stake. And if Oprah Winfrey owned 50% of it, that means roughly $150 million for half the network. And if the Discovery already owned the other half, well, you combine the two halves, just simple math, it's $300 million. So will she cash out later on the other 25%? I'm thinking she probably will. What is she? Oprah's in her 60s now. So, I don't know. Maybe she's trying to slow down, or maybe she's not. Who knows? Winfrey, however, will continue to serve as the chief executive of the network. As part of the deal, she will work exclusively for OWN in the basic cable space through 2025. Winfrey, who built her company Harpo into a juggernaut through her syndicated daytime talk show that ran for more than 2 decades until 2011, now appears as a special correspondent on CBS's 60 Minutes. Will that continue? I don't know. Will that affect how she goes, if she can actually appear on Good Morning America? Who knows how these things work. If she's appearing on behalf of the OWN network, then yeah, she'll be able to do it. But if she takes Matt Lauer's place, then I don't think that wouldn't be on behalf of the OWN network. But in any case, don't feel bad for Oprah. Don't feel bad for her. No, she's doing just fine.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
That according to a study, scientists or sociologists or whoever does this kind of studying can determine whether or not whether you're a liberal or a conservative. Yes, Stanford University researchers used a computer algorithm to determine whether a neighborhood leaned to the left or to the right by looking at vehicles in 50 million images from Google Street View in 200 American cities. So Google Street View, yes. In areas with more pickups, the odds switched to 82% in favor of Republicans. With areas with predominantly sedans, when sedans outnumbered pickup trucks, there was an 88% chance that the city would vote Democratic. So there you have, well, hey, Republicans, they cling to their Bibles and guns and they drive pickup trucks. They probably spit a lot, too, and chew tobacco. And they have an accent. Whereas the wonderful, erudite, learned Democrat, they drive expensive sedans, usually with a driver, because they sit in the back seat. And they're took from here to there in their sedans. While we in the pickup trucks, we got to drive ourselves, you see. So, well, that's... Where do they come up with this stuff? Stanford University did this study. They did. Can't make this stuff up. So if you're a pickup truck driver, you're a Republican.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever-popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do. I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day,
The men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back, my liberty lovers and ecclesiastical friends out there. Glad that you are here on this Tuesday, December number 5 in the year of our Lord 2017. As we continue on with the Rod Eccles program, I am, of course, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from the Bunker Eyes studio on this Tuesday morning. We are going to, this hour, of course, we have the Christmas song. I haven't decided if I'm going to play the new one or the Blast from the Past. So we'll probably play the Blast from the Past one over the past couple of years that we've done it. So we'll get that one out of the way later this morning, as well as, don't forget, and if I do forget, somebody's got to remind me about in next hour, today's holidays for December 5. Also, we'll get into some more of the wonderful sex harassment scandal it's expanding. And this time, Dustin Hoffman is thoroughly involved. And the man is 80 years old. Every time I hear that or I read that it just doesn't seem possible, but it is. He's 80 years old, so you can't really take Dustin Hoffman to task too hard, because you'd probably give him a heart attack. But why are people really trying to sit down and take Dustin Hoffman to task? Well, we'll find out about why aren't they going after somebody else? Some of the younger guys. This whole notion of it being over the past couple of weeks, or especially towards the end of November, the last couple of weeks of November, when everybody was thinking, it just seemed like it was, Generation X and baby boomers only, and some of the, World War II babies, the greatest generation babies. They always thought, these people were these sexual predators, so to speak, were 40 or 45 and older. Well, the past couple of weeks, in the past 2 weeks in November, show that there seems to be a number of millennials who are being accused of sexual misdeeds. Now, most of these millennials are obviously actors and musicians, so the older creeps tend to be actors and in Hollywood too, producers, that type of thing. So. Yeah, one person there are two people that I've noticed that haven't had any accusations levied against them, and that's George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg is evidently helming a biopic piece with Meryl Streep that's supposed to be attacking Donald Trump and the whole sexual harassment mess. But for those people who are into this, sort of, I'm talking about like people like Whoopi Goldberg. And is Whoopi Goldberg no longer on The View? I don't watch The View, so I don't know. Did she get? Did even Whoopi get sick and tired of Joy Behar? I mean, I would. I'm serious. That's got to be the reason why some of these women leave the View. Well, I mean, I know Rosie O'Donnell and Whoopi Goldberg didn't really like each other. You had one nut job versus another nut job, but Rosie O'Donnell was a bigger nut job and probably needs psychiatric help, seriously. And did I see a picture of Rosie O'Donnell last week? Did she lose weight? I mean, it looked like Rosie, but she was too skinny to be Rosie. And I think she was in a movie. She's in a new movie, or maybe it's a TV movie on Lifetime or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to, so I can be more accurate when I report to you. But it comes at me, really fast. If it comes at me fast, just imagine how it would come at you. I'm a trained non-audio journalist here. No, I'm not a journalist at all. That's why I say non-audio journalist. So I'm supposed to look at this stuff and catch it. But sometimes this stuff just, it goes by so fast. You think, did I just see what I just saw? Or did I hear what I just heard? So you're not sure. So I'm just wondering, did I see a thinned down, trimmed down Rosie O'Donnell or not? Because I haven't seen the commercial for it since. It was one time. Well, I don't watch a lot of TV, and I haven't gone on YouTube. It's probably on YouTube. I should go to YouTube and look it up. Rosie O'Donnell skinny. And it probably won't pop up for me. I don't know. If you know if Rosie O'Donnell has lost weight, I don't frequent over, what's the popular celebrity site, the Hilton thing? Perez Hilton? Or is it, yeah. Isn't that the girl? Anyway, whatever the celebrity Hilton site is. What's the girl's name? Isn't it Perez? It's not Perez. I don't know. I don't keep track of these. It's hard to keep track of these people. Anyway, he's a gay guy. Right? Now, he did slim down. He got as some people, he's sexy. Yeah, he was a fat boy. And then when he started that website as a lark, I guess, and then, he was a celebrity watcher, and all he would do was just skate. That's just, how do you do that? Well, I know how you do that, but you got to have he's just sitting at the computer all day long. That's all he did. Really, and people started paying, this Perez Hilton. I once knew his real name, but then I realized I didn't care what his real name is, so now I can't recall what his real name is. But Paris Hilton is who he liked to imitate. He was a little fat gay boy. Well, he was an adult, but they call him gay boy, I guess. So he loved Paris Hilton. And what was that reality show that she did with Lionel Richie's adopted daughter there? Anyway, they were just two idiots. And he loved this. Mario Armando Lavandera Jr. And thank you, CS, for letting me know what his real name is. I had no idea. Mario? You know where I'm going to go with that, but I'm not going to go with that. So anyway, he was sitting in front of his computer for hours per day, just scouring the internet for interesting. He didn't create anything in his own. None of the stories. Now that he's big and famous, yeah, he has some he has some clout to have some people out there scouring for some celebrity news. But before, he didn't create anything on his own. He just gathered everything together from other places. You know, he was a celebrity news aggregate, and he became the drudge of celebrity news. Nothing wrong with it, but he just did it himself. He just sat there hours upon hours upon hours in front of his computer, and he started gaining a following, and then TV, daytime talk shows started asking him on. And he's realized that once he was going to start appearing on TV, that he had to look the part. So he went on a major diet, an exercise regimen, and he got all sexy. And so now Perez Hilton you see him everywhere. His name is, he's everywhere. So this is now, where was I going with the Perez Hilton stuff? I don't know. Any case, I don't pay attention to it. So I don't know. Maybe Rosie, if you can find Rosie, she might be, there might be pictures of Rosie O'Donnell over there on Perez Hilton if you want to see a slimmed down Rosie. I don't know if Rosie O'Donnell is slimmed down or not. I don't know. I just want to know where Whoopi Goldberg is, because the last couple of times I've done, there was some news that came out of The View. There was no Whoopi. So I'm just wondering if Whoopi has disappeared from the ranks of The View. Maybe they can get Whoopi Goldberg to join the Good Morning America team. Notice how, are there any guys? Maybe they don't want to bring... Maybe all the national news organizations, all they want now is just a bunch of women, so there can't be any more predatory males there. Just no more button locks. Everybody's running around acting surprised that Matt Lauer could lock his door with a button on his desk. I mean, do you know how old school that is? They act like it was something really, really difficult to do. That they would have to have a gang of construction workers that would have to come into the office, in his office, in order to make this happen. With today's technology, it's even easier than before. It was never that difficult to begin with. But with today's technology, which is wireless technology, it's even easier. It's not. They've got apps for locking your doors now. It's not difficult. So everybody's running around thinking, how could he have possibly had that done? How many people knew that he had it done? He could do it himself. It's not difficult. I'm laughing at these people. We've had this remote technology that you could use. Well, now that you can use it, you just use an app on your cell phone. You don't even have to have a button. But we've had this wireless remote technology for a couple of decades now for that would enable that. It's not that. I mean, you could do that back in the 80s without a wire. So you didn't need construction workers coming in to build this in. I mean, hell, it was probably lick and stick the button to his desk and well, I shouldn't have said lick and stick, of course, considering what we're talking about. But you get the point. It's not difficult. It's not hard. None of this stuff is hard today. And especially if you're making $20 or $25 million, you can afford to spend a few bucks too. But this stuff isn't really expensive either. I mean, if you go to there's a spy store, a spy gadget store out in San Francisco. They also have a website. But if you go to eBay or you go to Amazon or even just some of the websites, you can get all this spy gadgetry stuff. Most of it, a good number of it, for under $100, a gadget. That's cheap. I'm talking James Bond quality. Well, is it Michael Kors now has a new smartwatch? I mean, this was James Bond Dick Tracy stuff. a few decades ago. Now this stuff is just being advertised willy-nilly on TV, and it's cheap. It's not expensive. And we're not talking... Anybody remember the science stuff? The sci-fi stuff, gadgets for kids? I forget. It was toys. This is how we got roped into accepting this stuff, folks. Now pay attention to this. The American public, the Western civilization public, got roped into accepting all of this electronic gadgetry that can spy on people. It was a kid's toy. Back in the early 2000s, it was kids. It was a series of kids. You could walk into Toys R Us. They had a whole shelf section of these spy gadget toys. It was microphones, and it was, scientific stuff and fingerprint stuff and other kinds of little spy gadgets that we just always isn't it cute for little Johnny and little Sam to run around playing, spy versus spy with this stuff. Well, it wasn't that long after the toys came out that the toys were discontinued because it became for adults. It was the real stuff. So we've got this stuff that's been around for years now. Some of it's been, these elephant ears listening devices been around for decades that people could buy. It's not safe to even talk in your own house anymore because people outside could have not as nearly as big as they used to be, a small microphone that they can sit out across the street in their car, point the microphone at your house, and pick up your conversation as if they were standing next to you. This stuff is not new, and it's not expensive. So to be able to have little cameras peering at you in your Airbnb room while you're sleeping is not beyond the realm of possibility, and it's not expensive for somebody to do. To have Matt Lauer and somebody else in the media to have a door that locked with a button on their desk, a la science fiction movies, is not beyond the realm of possibility. In fact, it's really easy and really cheap, and you don't even have to have a button anymore. All you need to do is have an app for your damn phone. I mean, now there's an app for just about everything now. Seriously. Spy Gear. Thank you, Infringed, in the chat room. It was called Spy Gear, the toys. And now that Spy Gear toy stuff for kids, marketed to kids about 10 years old, is now being marketed to adults. This stuff is real. Folks, this stuff is real.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there.
What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, "I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar." Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, "I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar." And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
And welcome back. We are going to get directly into the next Christmas song here. It's another new one this year, and it's from a group called Death Cab for Cutie. Christmas Time, yes, that's the name of this band, Death Cab for Cutie, and their Christmas song.
The snow's coming down. I'm watching it fall. Watching the people around. Baby, please come home. The church bells in town. They're ringing a song. What a happy sound. Baby, please come home. They're singing Deck the Halls, but it's not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here, all the fun we had last year. Pretty lights on the tree, I'm watching them shine. You should be here with me. Baby, please come home. Baby, please come home. Baby, please come home. They're singing Deck the Halls, but it's not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here and all the fun we had last year. If there was a way, I'd hold back these tears. But it's Christmas Day. Baby, please come home. Baby, please come home. Baby, please come home.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, That's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Welcome back. Everybody knows who LeVar Ball is, right? Yeah, his son Lee Angelo. I don't know where they come up with making up these names. L.I. Angelo. Liangelo. Angelo. Lee Angelo, he was one of the 3 UCLA basketball players that got caught shoplifting in China while Trump was over there. And he's the guy. LeVar Ball is the daddy of one of these players. He's the daddy of LeAngelo Ball. And he's the guy that was very unappreciative of Donald Trump saving his son from at least a 5 to 10 year prison sentence in China for shoplifting. Now, LeVar Ball may think that shoplifting is a minor crime, but you get a slap on the wrist here in the USA for shoplifting, especially if you're some sort of celebrity. Just ask, a few actresses that were caught shoplifting and didn't have to serve any time, or got a few slaps on the wrist until they straightened out their act. Some of them it took longer than others to straighten out their act. So this guy is now out there talking about he's upset with UCLA for suspending his son for being caught shoplifting in a foreign country, doing something illegal. So LeVar Ball is now so upset that he's going to pull his kid out of UCLA. Now, first of all, isn't LeAngelo an adult? So how is Daddy going to pull his kid out? Now, I don't know if the kid is on a full scholarship, or evidently LeVar Ball is a business owner of what, Big Baller? Is that the name of his fashion design, whatever it is? Evidently, he can pay for UCLA school out of his own pocket. I don't know if LeAngelo is on scholarship or not, but it's irrelevant because the kid he's over 18. He's an adult, but LeVar is going to pull his kid out, LeAngelo, out of UCLA. Screw getting an education. Yeah, forget that. Nope, don't need it. Don't need it. Now, I don't know. Well, obviously, he's probably studying something ridiculous anyway in order to pass, keep a passing grade so he can play basketball. But yeah, just forget education and forget that. That's what he's saying. Forget the education, son. We're going to go directly to the NBA. We're going to try to I don't know if this kid is good enough to play in the NBA. But LeVar Ball is going to try to put his son LeAngelo Ball out there into the NBA this spring. During the NBA draft and see what they can get. Does LeVar Ball need money? He's pimping out his kids. He's making excuses. He's mad at UCLA for suspending his kid for being caught doing something illegal. You know what? Maybe Trump should have just left his butt sitting in a Chinese jail. I'm just... This doesn't mean that the kid isn't grateful. He may genuinely be grateful because, I saw the apology video. He looked genuine. And it is highly possible that he is genuine about it. But his dad, LeVar, is just being a total ass about this whole thing. And I think it's just time for maybe, LeAngelo needs to have a private conversation with his dad and say, Dad, come on, chill out, man. You got to cut this crap out. People are not liking us a lot right now, but LeVar Ball doesn't seem to care because all he sees is dollar signs. You know who else who didn't really care about their kids? Well, I shouldn't say didn't care about them, but they saw dollar signs over the well-being of their children. Even in adulthood. That was Joe Jackson of the Jackson 5 and the Jackson family. Now I'm not saying LeVar Ball and Joe Jackson didn't love their children. Obviously they did, but they see dollar signs, And I think that is clouding. I'm being kind by saying that is what's clouding their judgment. Reality is LeVar Ball is just probably a total and complete idiot. But let's just that's the case. So back to the story. When sedans, the kind of car that you drive is going to determine your socioeconomic status and political preferences. Well, didn't Sam Walton drive a Ford pickup truck? By the way, I saw a story here. Was it do I have it in this pile? That was an electronic paper pile story. John Cena got fired by Ford when he sold his Ford pickup truck. Anyway, not an important story. I mean, Cena, for those of you who don't know, he's an action movie star, formerly WWE or WW, whatever it is, World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment superstar. I don't think he's retired from that now, isn't he? He lives over here in New England, by the way. Cena, as well as Triple H. I've met Triple H. Nice guy. Haven't heard the same nice things about Cena, though. Personally speaking, Cena is rather the opposite of nice. But Triple H is a nice guy. But I'm not into pro wrestling. And so meeting Triple H was kind of a waste on me. Yeah, like, hey, this is the, World Wrestling Entertainment Federation, whatever, Triple H, Rod. You know who? Yeah, I know who Triple H is. Seen the name. Big deal. I didn't say big deal, but to me it was like, big deal. Who cares? I don't watch professional wrestling. So it wasn't. So the meet and greet with him was. Well, it wasn't even a meet and greet. It was just a meet. It was a waste on me. It'd be like me meeting Colin Kaepernick right now. Actually, I'd probably have to slap the kid. I would. Get a haircut. And this is not 1960s. You're half white. Get over it. Yeah, gonna have to slap him around a little bit. Slap some sense into him. How does he fit all that? Colin Kaepernick. How does he fit all that hair under a helmet anyway? I mean, when I was in high school, I had an afro, but nothing like that. Yes, I could fit it under a baseball cap. In any case, the determined possibility of your social, economic, and your political status. And these are preferences in the USA by combining. What they did was they did this by combining the U.S. population by combining publicly available data with machine learning methods. The researchers created an algorithm to identify the brand, model, and year of every car sold in the USA. Since 1990, the types of cars also provided information about the race, income, and education levels of our neighborhoods, the study said. Volkswagen and Aston Martins were associated with white neighborhoods, while Chryslers, Buick, and Oldsmobiles tended to appear in African-American neighborhoods. The study, what, no Cadillacs in the African-American neighborhood? Chryslers, Buicks, and Oldsmobiles. And Volkswagens and Aston Martins. Who the hell? I can't remember the last time I saw an Aston Martin. I mean, seriously. Okay, Volkswagens are all over the place. I get it. But what neighborhoods are they going to where they're just full of Aston Martins? Now, I'm sorry. I bet you can go to Vermont, and you're not going to find many Aston Martins. But Vermont's a very white state. It is. Are there going to be a whole hell of a lot of Aston Martins in Vermont? No. What kind of nonsense is this? Well, the researchers also cross-checked their predictions against actual Census Bureau data and voting results. I don't know how they know what kind of car you're driving when you vote, because voting is anonymous. They said that their method of surveying neighborhoods could eventually save the government time and money by replacing or supplementing a Census Bureau's door-to-door approach with compilations of demographic. Yeah, so we're just going to drive down your neighborhood and take a look at your car? How is a car going to tell you how many people live in a dwelling? It's not. Yeah, but you're going to know the socioeconomic status, because if you go down a neighborhood that's got Aston Martins in it, it's going to be mostly white. Maybe in New York City. I mean, even in Boston, if you go down a white neighborhood like Beacon Hill, you're not going to see Aston Martins there either. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. So the predictor is that if you're a Republican, if you vote Republican, you're most likely a Southern country bumpkin, uneducated hick because you're driving a freaking pickup truck. Is that why John Cena sold his 2017 Ford pickup? Because he didn't want to be seen as a country bumpkin? Give me a break. Do you know how expensive pickup trucks are today? They're not cheap transportation like they used to be. They're ridiculously expensive. Oftentimes, a pickup truck is more expensive than the damn sedan that people have parked in their driveway, which is supposed to represent, more erudite liberal people. They're the ones that drive sedans. Give me a break on this crap. What a stupid-ass survey. It's not even real. Volkswagen and Aston Martins are more identifiable with white neighborhoods, and Chryslers, Buicks, and Oldsmobiles appear to be more prevalent in African America. They don't tell you the years of these things, though, either. Is it a broke-down Oldsmobile? It can't be an old, I suppose maybe it could be an old Chrysler. But are these new Chryslers? By the way, does it also tell you what kind of vehicle that illegal immigrants like to drive? I doesn't say. Clash over, I bring that up because here's a Bloomberg story. Clash over young immigrants hangs over year-end budget talks. Yes, the DACA, this whole DACA thing keeps getting in the way. The likelihood of government shutdown before year's end is increasing after Senate negotiations stalled over plans to provide deportation protection for 800,000 young undocumented immigrants. So now people that came here illegally, people that are illegal immigrants. Now you've got the Democratic Party holding the entire country hostage in the budget process in order to protect less than 1 million people that don't even belong here. Now, don't get me wrong. The government really doesn't shut down when we say government shutdown. The military still operates. The federal the security systems still operate. The federal police departments like the FBI, they still operate. The security, the secret security areas like the NSA and CIA, they still operate. People still get their Social Security checks. The Social Security Administration doesn't. It is so small. The part of the government that shuts down with no budget is so small. You hardly even notice that the government shut down. I mean, honestly, that's the way. It's the truth. So this whole notion that we're holding the nation hostage for at least to do some fiscal responsible things. We're holding the nation hostage on the Democrat side in order to protect less than 1 million people who should not even be here in this country. They're not in other words, American citizens are going to suffer for non-American citizens. I mean, do you realize that? I mean, that's what the Democrat Party is really saying. We're going to screw you over, American citizen, for less, 300 plus million legal American citizens are going to get screwed over for less than 1 million non-citizens. John Cornyn of Texas, the Senate's number 2 Republican leader, said yesterday that talks with Senate Democrats over combining new border security measures and deportation protections are at an impasse. This due to the fact that the notice came out that captures and arrests at the border are way down simply because illegal crossings are way down, but deportation arrests have skyrocketed. So Trump is doing what he promised that he was going to do. He was going to start rounding up people that were here illegally and start deporting them. And that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, the wall hasn't even gone up yet. Just the talk of the wall has, and the fact that deportation arrests have gone up, have decreased the flow of illegal immigrants across the border. Big time. To the lowest rate in some 40 or 45 years, according to some reports. And deportation arrests are up higher than they've been in 40 years. We're sending them back home, wherever that home is. But Democrats want to block the wall and somehow keep the Dreamers here, these DACA recipients here, and give them a fast track to citizenship. By the way, some DACA recipients or residents are no longer allowed in the country because they left the country. You can't leave the country. I mean, yes, that's the other part about it. If you go back home to where your home is, really, you can't get back in the USA, DACA or not. And some of these kids, they leave and they try to come back, get denied, so they cross illegally. Now they're just like they were before, an illegal immigrant, but now they're illegal as an adult. And just the way it happens. So you got Democrats who are holding the rest of us hostage so they can save just a few people who shouldn't even be here. You can't make this stuff up.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Germany has has come up with a novel way of dealing with its refugee, migrant problem, crisis, whatever they want to call them. Yeah, Germany is now going to. There's a couple of other countries. Sweden, I think, or is it Finland, has offered to pay some people to leave that have come there. Well, Germany also decided to do the same thing. Germany has come up with a novel way, not so novel way, to thin the ranks of migrants who have sought asylum but been rejected. Well, if you're seeking asylum and you've been rejected, don't you just get deported? Well, evidently, Germany just lets them stay. And so now they come up with a novel way to get them to leave. Not deport them, but pay them. Yeah. So instead of spending a little bit of money to deport them, they're going to spend more money to pay them to leave. The equivalent of $3,570. That's what they're going to give rejected asylum seekers, a one-time payment of $3,570 U.S. to go home. Now, I don't know about you, but $3,500, if I'm truly coming from a war-torn Muslim majority country, I don't think $3,500 is going to be nearly enough to get me to go home. But, I mean, this is the idiocy of this. We're going to, instead of just deporting these people, they're going to pay them to go. It'd be cheaper to put them on a boat or an airplane and send them back home. But no, you're going to let them fend for themselves by giving them $3,500 to let them go to get them to go by themselves. This is idiocy. I wonder how many of them are going to take up Angela Merkel up on her offer of $3,570 to go home. The Interior Ministry says those who qualify can apply by February 28th deadline, and they would get the money once they return home. So in other words, they have to go. So at least they're being smart that way. But I don't know. Is there going to be somebody sitting at the airport or the boat dock when they get back to their home country? And here's in an envelope, here's your $3,500 for leaving. Migrants who agree to go back even before their asylum request is rejected have already been offered money under a different program for almost a year. They would now be eligible to apply for both programs. So they're giving them money to go home even if they can stay, and they're giving them money to go home if they can. Can I do that? Can we all do that? Can we all just, go to, well, I guess we can't be, we'd be rejected for asylum because we wouldn't be coming from a war-torn state, country, I guess. So maybe we should all board a plane to Germany, seek asylum, know that we're getting rejected for asylum, but demand that we get paid our $3,570 if we go back home to the U.S. of A. Look, you can go to Germany on a little vacation. I don't know how long does it take them to determine whether or not you're good enough for asylum. I don't know, but you can be on a little vacation while you're there. Because in Germany, you also get to stay in certain places. These refugees and asylum people are just taking over the German countryside. So go out to the German countryside as a refugee from the USA, from the big, mean, bad, evil USA. Apply for asylum. Apply for the asylum programs. You're bound to get one, if not both of them. And then when you get back home, you're nearly $3,600 richer, and you've come off of a couple of months vacation in the German countryside. Not a bad deal, actually.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, You won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Show, the fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio, is right here, powered by Zinc Media Arts. Glad that you're here on this Tuesday morning, December number 5 in the year of our Lord 2017. As we continue on with this amazingly fast program, already the first 2 hours are in the can. Another strong hour remaining, though, so tune in and learn some good stuff. Well, I mean, not good, and well, you get to learn what my take is on this stuff, and which is probably what a lot of you are thinking out there. But and you're glad to hear somebody say what you're thinking and feeling, because it's the truth. We just do the logical truth here. This whole sex scandal stuff continues to boil over. It is now. I was wondering when this was going to happen, actually. The Reverend Jesse Jackson has now been accused of sexual harassment, along with director John Singleton. Yes, a journalist claims that the Reverend Jackson and director John Singleton made inappropriate comments and advances toward her while she was doing her job. Danielle Young, writing for The Root, it says that while she was working for a media company, Jackson delivered the keynote speech at the end of a meeting. After discussing the responsibilities of black journalists in his speech, according to Young, she and her colleagues lined up to have their picture taken with Jackson. They all lined up to have their picture taken with Jackson. I walked towards Jackson, Miss Young says, smiling, and he smiled back at me. His eyes scanned my entire body. All of a sudden, I felt naked in my sweater and jeans. As I walked within arm's reach of him, Jackson reached out a hand and grabbed my thigh, saying, I like all of that right there, and gave my thigh a tight squeeze. No, I'm sorry for laughing, folks, but come on. Now, I'm not saying that this is not what happened to this woman. I believe it did. I believe she's accurate in it. Well, I just love the part. I walked towards Jackson, smiling, and he smiled back. Because he thought, you smiled at him, and he thought you were flirting with him. His eyes scanned my entire body. All of a sudden, I felt naked in my sweater and my jeans. First of all, is there... Now, I'm not... I got to be careful with this one. First of all, what is wrong with being looked at? I'm being frank here now. I'm being deadly serious. I'm getting a little tired of these people saying, well, he looked me up and down, and it was just, I felt like I was naked. Well, get over it. You're being looked at constantly anyway, whether you know it or not. Especially if you are in good physical shape, if you have a good physical feature. In other words, people find you attractive. You walk into a coffee shop and you've got half a dozen eyes scanning you. That's just the way it is. Look, I've seen a beautiful woman and looked her from head to toe. And look, I've caught women looking at me. It should be a compliment. Big freaking hairy deal. It happens every freaking day. All the time. It's just the way we are. We're especially men. We're visual. Human beings are visual creatures, especially men. That's just, this is ridiculous that we're going to go so far as to say sexual harassment if you look me over. Give me a break. Let's not be so ultra sensitive as to that. In other words, you're only going to be upset if you notice somebody looking you over. But the half dozen eyes that you didn't catch looking you over, that's okay. Well, no, nobody should be looking at me. Well, that's just idiotic. That's idiocy. I mean, let's be real here. Now, I'm not equating what Jesse Jackson did after. Now, what he is accused of doing afterwards is going too far. Yeah, you shouldn't be grabbing a woman or a guy anywhere without their permission. If you don't know a person, you don't grab them that way. You don't put your hands on people. And technically, that's assault. By the legal technical definition, that's assault. But I'm not into arresting people for pinching or touching or poking somebody with a finger. That's going overboard. But technically speaking, what Jesse Jackson did is assault. If that's what really happened. Looking you up and down. I mean, if you feel like a piece of meat, or that's your own issue. I hate to say it, but it is. You're going to have to deal with it. And I'm sure that there are plenty of people that are listening to this or will listen to this later as a podcast and didn't even think twice about being looked at wherever they went. And now all of a sudden they're going to be self-conscious and be scanning the crowds everywhere they go to try to find out who's looking at them. Just live your life. It's just going to happen. Human beings are visual creatures. We like to look at things that are visually attractive. The human body, when we find a human body and a human face that is attractive to us, we are going to look at it. It's called eye candy. We do this every day. And this Daniel Young, I am sure, probably ogles men the same way. It's just a natural thing. So let's get over this touchy-feely type of oversensitivity just because you caught him looking at you up and down, looking you over. Big freaking... The important part is what he did afterwards. I mean, it's none of your business what he's thinking, by the way. I know. Look what he's probably thinking. What is he probably thinking, Rod? What he's thinking is nasty thoughts. Well, it's none of your business what he's thinking. As long as he doesn't act upon those nasty thoughts without your permission, it's none of your business what somebody else is thinking in their head. I mean, honestly, let's be serious about this for a second. Well, he was probably thinking how he'd have her in bed and have his way. So what? Again, that's natural. As long as he doesn't try to act upon what he's thinking without her permission. You can think about things all you want. It's the actions that actually count. Now, Jesse Jackson can be a normal human being, a normal male, by looking a beautiful woman up and down. The action of him grabbing her and pinching her without her express consent, that's the assault and bad part, not the looking her up and down. Let's separate the two, because we all, don't tell me you don't, even the most Christian of us, the most staunchly religious of us, I don't care what your religion is, we all do. It's not even like, it's worse than locker room talk. We all do it. Every single human being. I don't care if you're 10 years old or you're 100 years old. We all do it. We find someone attractive and we look them over and often can't take our eyes off of them. Eye candy. It's called attraction. That's oftentimes how people meet and fall in love without going online. You meet somebody out in the open. What usually happens? You usually can't take your eyes off of them. It's just for some reason you are attracted to this person. You don't know what it is. You don't know why. There's something about them that just gets your attention. And you want to meet them. You want to talk to them. Maybe, get to know them, try to date them. Who knows? Become your husband or your wife, whatever. That's how it works. Visually. Even when you're online, you're scanning people's pictures, left or right. Why are you doing it? Because all you got to go by is their looks. You're physically attracted or physically repulsed by their picture. We all look people over. That's not the problem with this story. The problem with this story is Jesse Jackson, who's a man of God, actually went ahead and went beyond his thoughts and his visual reference and actually reached out and grabbed the poor woman, according to her. The reporter also said she was shocked to react and giggled uncomfortably as he pulled me closer. What? While her co-worker took photos of them, she described herself as feeling deflated after she was finally able to pull away from the man she once admired, who marched alongside Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. By the way, there are stories out there that Martin Luther King Jr. has an illegitimate child out there. Just saying. I don't. Any case, the same thing with John Singleton. She snapped a selfie with the legend John Singleton while he gripped my waist and said, "Ooh, I'm going to grab on tight to you, y'all." She noted she reached out to a woman that there with her that day that at her previous job who remembered the situation the same way. I remember him being inappropriate with all women, Young said. Her former co-worker told her, and I also remember you telling me that he did something more with you, and when he brushed the blank off and chalked it up to him just being a dirty old man. Jesse Jackson being a dirty old man? Well, there you go. So now the sexual harassment allegations, evidence, there's picture proof, a little bit of picture proof. Now includes Reverend Jackson and the director, John Singleton. Both of these men are African American, by the way, just in case you don't know. Now, I've always thought Jesse Jackson was off. Ever since Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, there was something in Jesse Jackson that flipped. A switch that flipped in him. And he became an overly aggressive, ultra-liberal, evil human being. He did. It's just in his eyes. It's in that I've rarely seen Reverend Jesse Jackson, smile naturally. He's always got that fake, stiff smile on his face. He does. That's not his natural smile, by the way. I've seen pictures of Jesse Jackson with his natural smile. The smile that he gives us all the time, or most of it, is not that fake, stiff thing. No, it even looks fake. It looks like it hurts him to smile. It really does. Kind of grimaces. It's a grimacing smile. It's not a real smile. I've seen his real smile. It's a genuine smile, not this thing that we often see him pictured with. I mean, it's just he's an asinine human being, really. I'm not a Jesse Jackson fan, as you probably well are aware by now. Up next, the last Christmas song of the day and holiday.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
And now let's get into our Christmas song, our last Christmas song. It is the version of O Come, All Ye Faithful. Christmas song.
O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, the wisdom from on high, and order all things far and nigh. To us the path of knowledge show, and teach us in her ways to go. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
come, you rod of Jesse, free your own from Satan's tyranny. From depths of hell, your people save and give them victory o'er the grave. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, desire of nations, bind all peoples in one heart and mind. Bid envy, strife, and quarrel cease. Fill the whole world with heaven's peace. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O
Israel. Oh, come. That is today's, the final Christmas song for today. This is a blast from the past from 2 years ago. We received that song. This just in, John Conyers, most senior member of House, resigns amidst accusations of sexual harassment. This comes on the heel of earlier or late last night, the Detroit News reported that another woman who worked for longtime U.S. Representative John Conyers is accusing him of touching her inappropriately by stroking and rubbing her thighs and appearing naked before her. Lisa Grubbs, who said she worked for Conyers from 2001 to 2013, claimed she also witnessed him touching and stroking the legs and buttocks of Marion Brown, who's Grubbs' cousin, and other female employees of the congressman on multiple occasions. Now, that puts, him in he's 88. So that puts him in his 70s when he's appearing naked in front of these women, just to put that in perspective. But now he's apparently he is going to retire and resign from the House. But he endorsed his son, John Conyers III, in a rambling radio interview with Detroit host Mildred Gaddis. I can't believe a woman actually wanted to interview him for this. He said, "I'm retiring today, and I want everyone to know how much I appreciate the support, incredible, undiminished support I've received," he said. And he's endorsing his son, John Conyers III, to take his place. I think... in Michigan, the governor appoints replacements in this particular case, especially since an election is, less than a year away. Conyers used the word retiring rather than resigning, left some uncertainty over whether he was immediately vacating the congressional seat he has held since 1965. However, later, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas read a statement from Conyers on the House floor confirming that he had notified congressional officials and Michigan's governor that he was stepping down immediately. The move by Conyers, who has represented the Detroit area in the House in 1965, came after Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi and fellow Congressional Black Caucus Leader James Clyburn, and increasing numbers of House members urged him to quit after his former aides offered detailed descriptions of his, shall we say, transgressions. Conyers is out. Is Minnesota's great man, next.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, but most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov.
She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have.
Visit brainhealth.gov.
Today's holidays for December number 5. There's quite a few of them, which is why I didn't try to shove them in between the Christmas song there. But today's holidays, we begin with, it is Bathtub Party Day. Again, December number 5, holidays, Bathtub Party Day. This is obviously what it just says, you know, go have a party in your bathtub with you, yourself, and anybody else who wants to join you, I suppose. But it's a day for getting back to the old style of, because we all like to take, quick showers or even long showers. But let's just take a good old soak. Not a hot tub, not a whirlpool tub, but just a bath. Just soak in a bath. It's good for you. It is also International Ninja Day, which is also known as Day of the Ninja, also known as International Creep Like a Ninja Day, and also known as Sneak Like a Ninja Day. I see a lot of people running around dressed in black tonight, running around thinking that they're ninjas. So somebody's probably going to get shot. Anyway, but I happen to like ninjas. I did take a few months of ninja classes. It's different. I mean, it's very regimented, by the way. In order to be a ninja, I mean, it takes years to become a ninja, not just a few months. But what I learned in a few months is just rather fascinating. It is also International Volunteer Day. So get out there and volunteer, Salvation Army, any of your charities out there. You could volunteer by keeping watch tonight over a little chillin', because it's Krampusnacht, otherwise known as Krampus Night. And if you don't know what Krampus is an evil version of Santa Claus, basically. But it is December 5th is Krampusnacht. I guess it's German. It's also National Blue Jeans Day. I thought every day was Blue Jeans Day. Well, today is National Blue Jeans Day. You should be allowed to wear your blue jeans to work if you work in an office that doesn't normally allow blue jeans on a non-casual day. Today you should be, if you work in Tech Valley, out there in Silicon Valley in various parts of the country, whether it be California, Texas, or Massachusetts, and you probably get to wear blue jeans every day. But today's a day to celebrate. Wear your best pair. If you're already at work at lunchtime, go home and change into your best pair of jeans to celebrate National Blue Jeans Day. It's also National Soccer Tort Day. The Soccer Tort, S-A-C-H-E-R, which it's celebrated today. It's a type of cake or tort. And I guess it's good stuff. It's a tort or cake. What is a tort, by the way? It's celebrated today. It's a type of cake or tort that was invented by Austrian Franz Sacher. I guess that's how you pronounce the name, S-A-C-H-E-R. He invented it at the age of 16 in 1832 when he was an apprentice in the kitchen of Prince Wenzel von Metternich and was asked to create a dessert for the prince and his guests. The guests at the event were pleased with it, but nothing came as dessert right away. Eventually, Sucker was opened a delicatessen and wine shop where he served the confection. So Sucker Tort was invented on this day, and this is the day that you celebrate Sucker Tort. It is also National Communicate with Your Kids Day. As versus every other day, today is a day that you really, 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 really try really, really, really hard to communicate with your kids, because it is Communicate with Your Kids Day. It is also National Commute with Your Baby Day. So take your baby, not just your kid, but your pre-toddler to work with you, I guess. You got to commute with it. So if you only got one and there's two of you commuting, I guess you got to share the commute times. It is also World Soil Day. Not much information about that one, but yeah, celebrate Mother Earth, soil, celebrate the the earth. It is also World Trick Shot Day, usually observed by the Harlem Globetrotters every time that they get on the basketball court. But today is World Trick Shot Day for basketball. Go out and learn a trick shot and get it down pat. Maybe you too could join the Harlem Globetrotters. It is also Repeal Day. Yes, Repeal Day celebrates the day that brought the 21st Amendment into effect. Yes, indeed. The end of Prohibition was today. And after the final state needed to ratify it in order to do so, the amendment repealed the 18th Amendment, which had prohibited the production, transportation, and sale of alcohol, although funny enough, it didn't seem to outlaw the consumption and internal possession of the alcohol like it does today. Although December 5th has long been known as Repeal Day, it was not officially celebrated as such until mixologist, bartender, and writer Jeffrey Morgenthaler shared his idea of the day in 2006. So that's when it was, 2006, it was officially noticed and noted on an annual basis. Hey, without repeal, we wouldn't have things like St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo. Think about that. Yes, but those are your holidays for today. Your holidays for today, December 5, in the year of our Lord 2017. Mueller subpoenas Trump's Deutsche Bank records. Evidently, it's not just the Deutsche Bank records but he's also subpoenaing Capital One Bank. What do Trump's bank records have to do with collusion? The Russian collusion? Did he pay the Russians? Nobody's accusing him of paying the Russians off. So what do his well, because they're looking for anything and everything that they possibly can in order to catch him. It has nothing. This is why this thing has to be stopped. I'm sorry, folks. This whole investigation, you need to have a report. After a year and a half, is there any evidence of Russian collusion helping Donald Trump win the election? No? Fine. You're fired. Enough of this. This obstructing justice crap is not reality. The man was hired in order to look into the fact that Donald J. Trump was accused of colluding with the Russian government in order to win the presidential election. By the way, there is no law against collusion. There isn't. No, there's no federal or state statutory limits or against collusion. There is none. So even if he did collude, he's not guilty of a crime. So there's no evidence of Trump. There is evidence of Hillary Clinton and the DNC colluding, but there's no evidence of Trump colluding. Force him to deliver the final report on it and get the hell out of there. You're done. No more trying to get people on process crimes. Like, Flynn, you lied. I misremembered. Well, that's still a lie, according to the FBI. We're done with this. Now, we even when we get somebody, when they get General Flynn on a process crime, it's being reported by the mainstream media as they got Trump finally. He lied about it. Yeah. No, there's no connection. It's time this ended. There is no, you cannot, the president is the boss. He cannot be held in, as far as this whole, collusion and interfering with justice. There is none of that. It is very difficult for the president to be involved in that kind of thing because he's the boss. He gets to dictate and tell people where to investigate, who to investigate, when to investigate, why to investigate. He can tell people. It's just like it's like your prosecutor, your district attorney. They determine whether or not they're going to formally charge somebody or not. The cops bring the prosecutor, the district attorney, some evidence, and the prosecutor says, "Well, okay, we got enough. Let's go forward." Nah, I don't think so. That's the president's job, too. He does the same thing. Go and investigate. Got some evidence? Okay, let's prosecute. That's his job. He's the chief law enforcement officer of the land. So this whole notion that he can somehow interfere with, that's not possible in the way they're saying it. It's not possible. And the president has the ability to fire anybody within the executive branch for any reason. They all serve at the pleasure of the president. That is the whole point. Mueller is time to go. Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller zeroed in on President Donald Trump's business dealings with Deutsche Bank AG as his investigation into alleged Russian meddling in the U.S. elections. Why? It has nothing to do with this collusion meddling. Trump's business dealings in Germany have to do with Trump's current collusion accusations for the election in 2016? None. Zero. Zip. Nada. There isn't any. This is ridiculous. And it's time to, I know if I were, I wouldn't care about political expediency. I would do it just to see the Democrats become completely and totally unhinged. I'd say deliver your final report on the collusion, Mueller. After 18 months and millions of dollars spent, you've got no evidence, time to shut it down. And watch Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer flip out and go crazy. I'm serious. I would have. I would have done it by now. No, you wouldn't. Right? Yes, I would have. I mean, this is getting out of hand. It's ridiculous. Well, then they'd come after you then they'd really try to impeach you. Well, they're going to do it anyway. We don't got to spend the American taxpayer and take away from the spending the American taxpayers' money and take away from the real stuff that we should be discussing by this fake, phony investigation. You got too many other important things to talk about, including things like, the gay wedding clash. There's now a gay wedding clash at the U.S. Supreme Court. The brief discussions about a wedding cake has grown into U.S. Supreme Court collision of some of the nation's most cherished values, they say. In a dispute that pits free speech and religious rights against equality, the justices on Tuesday will consider the case of Colorado baker who refuses to make cakes for same-sex weddings. Still refusing. So it's kind of like, are you going to be forced under gun or knife point to bake a cake? Today, the hour-long argument will mark the first full-scale test of gay rights since the court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide in 2015. Supporters, the case threatens to undercut the equal dignity the court promised same-sex couples in that decision. It has nothing to do with it. So you've got a right to, as I've mentioned time and time again, you've got a right to associate with those people you wish to associate. And as I have said before, I wouldn't, if somebody doesn't want my business simply because they don't like the color of my skin, great, they should tell me. I'm not going to sue them. I'm just going to walk out of the store and not give them my hard-earned money. If they don't like the color of my skin, then they don't like the color of my credit card or my debit card or my money. Plain and simple. Go somewhere else. Hey, can you make a cake for our gay wedding? I'm sorry, I'm a full-blown Bible-believing Christian. I don't believe in gay weddings. I cannot participate in such a thing. I refuse to make your cake. Well, fine. I'll just go give my money to somebody else then. That should have been their reaction, not, you better damn well make my cake, man. This isn't about gay wedding cake. This is about crushing religious freedom in this country. Don't doubt me.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
That there is a difference between how so-called rich people and so-called poor people spend their money and what they spend it on a daily and annual basis. Well, evidently there was a study done. This is from Yahoo Finance News. Americans spend the bulk of their money in 3 areas: housing, transportation, and food. Not necessarily in that order. Usually it goes in the order of housing, food, and transportation. It depends on how you count transportation. Are you counting the actual cost of an automobile or just the total cost or the annual cost of it? Low-income Americans, however, spend a significantly larger portion of their money on housing. Yeah, the 33% thing. If your rent's $1,000 a month, but you only make $3,000 a month, and that's a third of your income, And oftentimes people who are renting find themselves in areas of the country where it's slightly more expensive, where they have to spend an even greater portion of their, more than 1/3 of their gross income every month on housing. High-income Americans, however, spend a much higher proportion on insurance and retirement expenses. Well, that's because the lower-income people are having their insurance and their retirement subsidized by the government in the forms of all kinds of government subsidies and programs. So they don't have to spend it. But the higher-income people do. So on average, Americans spend the bulk of their money in housing, transportation, and food. But the picture looks a bit different if you compare the country's lowest earners with the highest. While household spending is similar in some areas, low-income Americans spend a significantly larger portion of their money on housing, while high-income Americans spend a much higher proportion on insurance and retirement expenses. The discrepancies in these areas, it's not simply a matter of rich versus poor. The type of people that comprise these categories also plays a key role, so says all this data coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, Business Insider did some analysis of these stats, and the highest 20% of earning households in the country, which on average make $178,000 annually before taxes, and the lowest 20% of households on average pulling in just $11,000 annually before taxes. So, the top 20% spend about 30% on housing, where the bottom 20% spend about 40% on housing. Transportation, the top 20% spend about 16% on transportation, where the bottom spends about 14%. Insurance and personal insurance and pensions. The top 20% spend about 16% of their income, while the bottom 20% doesn't even spend 10%. And this is food. It's 11% for the top 20% and 15% for the lower 20%. Funny enough, entertainment is about equal, 5% for each. I would think that the lower 20% can't afford to spend that much on entertainment, but there you have it. And finally today, a criminal probe of Harvey Weinstein moves forward. Yes, police are saying that an full investigation in New York, a criminal investigation into the sexual assault allegations against Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein is moving forward, so says a NYPD chief of detectives. Yes, the chief of detectives, Robert Boyce, said Monday without giving further timeline of possible charges. This case is going forward right now, and they're going to go after Harvey Weinstein. Kevin Spacey also has been accused by someone else for another sexual allegations. We'll probably get into that tomorrow since we're out of time for today. Thank you for being here, but we will be back here on Wednesday. It is Intel Report Day tomorrow with Agent 0010, so you don't want to miss that. Until then, have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon and enjoy those jeans and that tort. Catch you tomorrow. I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.